Are you planning a trip to Disneyland Paris in 2025? Whether you're coming in from across Europe or if you're flying in from overseas, there is a lot to know before you go. From tickets and hotels to ride strategies and hidden tips, there is a lot that you can do to save you time and money. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything that a beginner needs to know about Disneyland Paris in 2025, so by the end of the video, you'll be able to plan your trip like a pro, even if this is your first visit. But before we get on into it, if you do enjoy watching this video, then please hit that like button to let me know. And if you are new around here, we are very close to hitting 5,000 subscribers here on this channel. So please consider hitting that subscribe button, ringing that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing, because we make plenty of theme park and adventure videos here, which you don't want to miss. And just quickly, before we get on into the video, Attractions Beyond, we've been nominated for a UK Theme Park Award as Best Established Content Creator, and your support and votes, it would mean the world. It's an honour to be nominated alongside all the other incredible creators, some of which inspired me to start this channel in the first place. So I've left a link down in the description below to where you can cast your vote to show your support for not only myself, but all the other creators too. So first up, what is Disneyland Paris? It's actually two parks in one resort. You have Disneyland Park. This is the main park with the iconic pink Sleeping Beauty castle, classic rides like Big Thunder Mountain, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Hyperspace Mountain. It's the classic Disney castle park similar to other castle parks found around the world. And then there's Walt Disney Studios Park, although soon to be called Disney Adventure World. This is a smaller park with attractions like Ratatouille the Adventure, the Tower of Terror, and Avengers Campus. This park, it's currently undergoing a huge refurbishment over the next couple years, and it will soon be the home to the World of Frozen and the first ever Lion King inspired area. The two parks, they are right next to each other, so it is very easy to get from one to the other. It'll only take you a few minutes to walk between each one. There's also the Disney Village, a shopping and dining district, and several Disney hotels on site. For a first timer, I would recommend spending 2 days at the Disneyland Park and then 1 day at the Walt Disney Studios Park. In fact, I'd probably say that you could spend half a day at Walt Disney Studios Park currently, but when the Disney Adventure World opens and there's that new expansion with the World of Frozen and the Lion King area, then it'll definitely become a full day park. So next, let's talk about tickets. And my biggest tip is always buy them in advance. You usually find that they are cheaper online, and you can also get your dates locked in too before you visit. You can buy 1 day, 2 day, or multi-day tickets, and you'll want the park hopper option if you plan to visit both parks on the same day. And the biggest question is, when is the best time to visit? So with it being Disney, it's always going to be busy, no matter when you visit. However, if you visit during January to March, or September to November, you'll usually find it's a little less busy and a little cheaper too. Now, sometimes it's not always possible to visit during these times, and perhaps the only time you can visit is the summer holidays, but that's still okay. Even though it might be a little bit more expensive and a little bit more busy, the park hours, they are usually longer, and you'll find that there's more entertainment too during these times. So if you want shorter lines, then definitely visit midweek during the school term. But if you want the full parades and entertainment, then visit during the summer holidays or during Halloween and Christmas. The Halloween and Christmas decorations, they are always incredible at Disneyland Paris. In fact, Christmas, it's my personal favourite time to visit Disneyland Paris just because of the decorations. It feels a little bit more magical at that time of year, even if it is a little bit cold. Staying on site, it makes a huge difference. Disney has 6 themed hotels, from the budget-friendly Santa Fe to the luxurious Disneyland Hotel, which just reopened in 2024 after a full reimagining. Now, the biggest perk with staying at a Disneyland hotel, it means you get an extra hour inside the park at the start of the day, which is called Extra Magic Hour. This means you get to experience all the rides before the park officially opens to all the other guests. This allows you to get on your favourite rides with shorter queues before the gates even open, meaning you can make the most out of your day. And what's even better is the Disney hotels, they are nearby, they are within walking distance, but if you don't want to walk, they also offer a free shuttle service. However, with it being Disney, of course it's going to be a little bit more expensive staying at a Disney hotel, but if you are on a budget, then there are plenty of partner hotels nearby. And even though these aren't official Disney hotels, they still offer free shuttle services. In fact, the last time I visited Disneyland Paris, I stayed at one of these partner hotels, and I thought it was fantastic. It was a great hotel, there was a free breakfast, there was the free shuttle service, so honestly I would really recommend staying at one of these partner hotels. However, if you do want that full Disney experience, then the Disney hotel is of course the best option to go for. Okay, so let's next talk about the travel. How do you get to Disneyland Paris? If you're flying in, Charles de Gaulle Airport is the closest, and then from there, you can take the train right to the park gates. There used to be a direct Eurostar from London St Pancras to the gates of Disneyland Paris, and honestly, it was amazing. It made things so much easier, but unfortunately they stopped this a couple years ago, so here's me praying that they bring this back at some point. If you don't want to get the train, then there are other options from getting from the airport to Disneyland Paris. You could use a shuttle service, or you could just book a private transfer. If you're coming from the Paris city centre, the RER A train takes about 40 minutes and it drops you at the entrance. I've personally taken this option before, and I did find that it was the cheapest way of getting there, so if you want to watch my full travel guide, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now onto the fun parts, the rides and attractions which you can't miss. At Disneyland Park, Big Thunder Mountain. It's one of the best versions at any Disney park. You also have Phantom Manor, Disneyland Paris's unique, darker take on the Haunted Mansion. You also have Pirates of the Caribbean. It's longer and more detailed than the US versions. Then there's Hyperspace Mountain. This is personally my favourite version of Space Mountain with a Star Wars theme. And then finally, you also have Sleeping Beauty Castle. This may not be a ride, but it is a great attraction for all ages, where you can explore the dragon animatronic in the dungeon underneath. And over to Walt Disney Studios, you have Ratatouille The Adventure. This is a trackless 4D ride themed to one of my favourite Pixar films. You also have Avengers Assemble, Flight Force, and Web Slingers over in Avengers Campus. These are both perfect for Marvel fans. And then you also have the Tower of Terror. This is my all-time favourite ride, and the Paris version, it has a slightly different storyline than the US version. And of course, don't forget about the shows and parades, especially the nighttime spectacular over at the castle called Disney Tales of Magic. So next, let's talk about the food and drinks. Disneyland Paris food can be, let's say, a hit or miss, but here's how to do it right. The first tip is to book those table service reservations early. These should open 2 months before in the official Disneyland Paris app. Cowboy Cookout Barbecue in Frontierland or Earl of Sandwich in the Disney Village, these are 2 great restaurants for value. There's also plenty of snacks. Last year I did a video reviewing all the snacks at Disneyland Paris, so if you want to check that video out, I'll leave a link in the description. Some were great, some were pretty gross. Okay, so how to make the most out of your day. Here are some time-saving tips. First, download the official Disneyland Paris app. It has live wait times, maps, and mobile reservations. Use Premier Access. It's a paid skip-the-line system for popular rides. Of course, only use this on the popular rides with the super long wait times. Arrive before park opening. The lines tend to be shorter in those first 2 hours, and if you're staying at a Disney hotel, then make use of that extra magic hour. And as well as arriving early, also stay as long as you can, because towards the end of the day, the crowds, they tend to thin out, which means shorter queues. And finally, single rider lines. There's a few rides across the park like Ratatouille The Adventure and Avengers Flight Force. These both have single rider lines, and they are a huge time saver if you don't mind riding separately. We spoke about it briefly earlier, but Halloween, it is a great time to visit because there is plenty of spooky decorations, there's the Disney villains, and there's usually a special nighttime celebration too. And then after Halloween there is Christmas, which has full-on festive magic. These are some of the most magical times to visit, but they do get crowded, so plan accordingly. As I mentioned earlier, Christmas is my favourite time to visit. It feels like the most magical in my opinion, with all the decorations and the parades. However, Halloween, it's also a great time to visit too, so I would definitely recommend visiting during one of these events. And finally, a few last pro tips. Bring layers, because Paris weather, it can change all the time, even in the summer. Also, bring snacks and refillable water bottles because Disneyland Paris, it can get very expensive, so these are just some ways to save a bit of money. And one of the top tips is to bring comfortable shoes because you're going to be doing a lot of walking. You'll be doing 20,000 steps without even realizing it. But most importantly, slow down and enjoy it. It's very easy to rush from ride to ride without exploring all the details. In Disneyland Paris, it's full of them. So there we have it, a beginner's guide to Disneyland Paris. If you found this video helpful, then please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, and I'll be making more videos like this in future. I will also be sharing all the news and updates about Disney Adventure World coming to Walt Disney Studios at Disneyland Paris, so be sure to stay tuned for all of those videos. And finally, if you want to find out the best and the worst snacks at Disneyland Paris, then click this video right here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.